All right. Just took a pizza break. And I'm eating it. So, book 6, pizza, pizza, pizza. Again, I don't know why I'm calling them books either. But yeah, maybe I'll just go over what I'm trying to do tonight. And I'm just trying to sit down and use my microphone. I found it. I bought it. Let it sit for 3 or 4 months. Haven't thought of anything to do with it. So I'm just talking into it. And we're constructing thought. That's what I decided to talk about. So maybe package it up into a 7-8 book series, one a day, a week's worth of content. I started at about 10:30. It's been about an hour. It's about 11:30 now. So, yeah, it's nice. I think if you look at how long the content is, I'm probably only taking 2 minutes of a break in between. I think it's just easier to digest the content, and then, I'm trying to start with a thought and end with that same thought or a point to that thought, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it hasn't. I think that's kind of been the point, that it's okay, that it doesn't have to lead back to there, because if this is speaking about creativity and art and uniqueness and whatever this initial thought was supposed to be, or whatever this could become, then let it be. So I'm just gonna finish my pizza. I'm just trying to show you that it's real. It's from Fresh Brothers. It's delicious. I strategically saved like 2 or 3 bites so I could eat it into the microphone. So excuse me for this last bite. But yeah, eating pizza. So I kind of want some water, but we're gonna fight through this. We're gonna focus. The idea, creativity, thought. I think it comes from humor, playfulness, the being a child and not being confined by what is considered norm by a regular group of people. Like, who the fuck are people to say anything's normal? The foundation of who we are came from ill-normal thinkers, and so I think the willingness to be a kid, and they don't look and think twice about what other people think. They want to do whatever they want to do, they do it, and I respect that, and it's a beautiful thing, and everyone in the world loses it. They lose the I mean, the ability to be silly, the ability to joke around and laugh, and then it has to become smarter jokes. So as you're making these comments and you're seeing it's now comedy and it's a thing, and it's now everyone has to choose an interest, and definitions and models have to be put on. It's not just pure whatever the heck you are. Like, if you want to chew on the edge of that coffee table, like, you chew on it. Like, if if you're gonna take a shit on the stairs, you take a shit on the stairs. Like, I don't know, it's just a rock star type of way of being, and I think that goes away, and in that going away, and in it really is hard for people to challenge themselves to be creative, because creativity is breaking the norm, So I think a lot of people like to do it behind closed doors, and then you have the people that are blatantly loud about it and have the purple hair and the tattoos or whatever. I mean, I think that's why tattoos kicked off. Everyone's got something they want to remember or be a part of. Some people, think through them a little bit less than others, but I'm sure you can find a chart somewhere showing the growth of tattoos from the 70s to the 2000s, and just the astronomical acceptance of a permanent art form on one's body, the tattoo. So, thought. We're here. We're using the microphone. We summarize what we're doing. I think it's important to throw out a few small thoughts along the way, which I think I have, and then kind of draw back to the big thought, because one of the things that I haven't spoke about, but is probably my biggest Achilles heel, is, and I think everybody's, is money. Like, and it's not if you have it or if you don't have it, it's greed, in the fact that so many life decisions are based on how that factors into your life, what money is, how it comes and goes, and if you have it and if you don't have it, like, it's the fact that it's in place and that people base so many decisions on it. And it just blows my mind. And I think for me as a person, and I know I'm not alone because I see it everywhere in the way people are marketed to, and just just life. It's a time equals or there. There's just a lot of things that money kind of controls, and I think the creative opportunity of the opportunity for creativity is the opportunity for profitability, I guess, and that's what I've tried to leverage my creativity into. And what's happening is, there's a lot of shortfalls and a lot of things that have to happen. A lot of marketing needs to go behind it. Just a lot of getting your thought out there. But building those thoughts and creating something of value to somebody that people would pay for, that would then improve your life, as the foundation, I think, of where I took these pictures that people see. It started with a little boy drawing pictures and enjoying that, and as a kid or whatever, and you grow up into something that wants to apply that, so it can't be pure and innocent anymore. It has to be, it can't go from the squiggly lines to the squiggly, people, characters, and monsters and stuff, and then the finer, refined images, all the way to become a person that can create a beautiful photorealistic portrait or whatever. So, so it's interesting. The whole thing's interesting, and I think it's just picking up the mic and talking to people about it. They might find it interesting, and I'd like to, always throw out the idea, and I might have to listen back and get the point across, but I'd like to think that there's a handful of little points that kind of come out, and maybe as I listen to it back, there might be some value here, and if not, I don't know, I really don't ever check the content I create. I just don't. I don't know. I'm not on Facebook. I used to be on Facebook. I actually jumped off of that because I felt like I was spending more time living my life to document how cool my life was so other people would see and think it was cool, instead of living my life and it just being cool. And so it became a problem, and we just made some changes. But it's crazy because that was like 4 or 5 years ago, and I felt like I was spending too much time online. I was looking at Facebook and I was doing all this stuff, and I was like, I'm done with television. I've quit TV and media and content, and really just I quit many things, and I've sat down, I've walked away, but then there's something that pulls you back, whether it's, I think that's an addiction. I think that's what's classified as an addiction, because if you're wholeheartedly saying I don't want to do this, and then that island, that bubble, that thought that you're on, that big one, just grows into the point where it has to be addressed. Like, I don't know if you're deflating it, or if you get pushed so close together, you jump onto another you can't jump onto another big one, like it squishes you into the wall. Like, I don't know, but addiction, I think, is the inflation of those concepts that keep falling back into your life. And so television has been one of those, and I think it's been out of our control a little bit because the mobile phone revolution, and just how it was just like brought to you. I mean, and there's a whole bunch of things we could talk about there, but so just another little random gem. But I think what I'd like to do with all this stuff is get it paired up with the picture, put it online, and see if there's any traction. Maybe pull a couple of the main quotes out, maybe quote them, so you have like an image, a couple top quotes, like in the show notes or something. There's the I could do a whole thing on why I bought the microphone, which was that Pat Flynn guy, because I was like, I'm on a podcast, and it lasted for like 10 minutes, and then I got distracted because I think repeating the same thing for forever is almost like a trap. Doing the same thing for forever is almost as worse as being locked up or something like that. Just because you're confined, you just have a little bit more of a fish tank. You have a little bit more room to work with. Like, I have a fish tank, a little 10-gallon one. I'm staring at it right now. It's across the other side of the room, and there's these fish, and they're just very territorial. They're African cichlids, and you have to build little cubby holes for them to live in, and they freak out if you change them. But we're all, I don't know, the fish tank that we're all kind of put in is really interesting to me, because we all have these boundaries, and whether it's a prison cell or a multi-million-dollar mansion, we're still confined by, the things that construct our lifestyle to be there. So, in jail, you're kind of forced. But when you're, I guess, multi-million-dollar lifestyle is the closest to freedom. Like a jungle animal is probably the closest to freedom, but it still has its restrictions. Like, I think what's in the middle is something that you look at the everyday person, like they have a job that they have to commit to make the money, to then pay the bills, to have the things that then is the foundation of that ecosystem. And I don't know, when you step back and look at a fish's ecosystem, there's always 4 walls in the water, and it's just how wide you go and what's thrown inside. So there's these 4 fish in there, and they're like battling it out, and it's crazy. And I almost feel bad, like the one fish picked on the other, and then it flipped around, but it's like West Side Story in there. It's nuts. So I think we all just have fish tanks, and we all have our ecosystems on whatever scale you want to look at it. And the construction of those ecosystems is something that, that makes us all unique. So, maybe I'll talk about the website, what I'm trying to do, maybe how I can package it up. There's a couple ideas in here. It's pretty cool about the parentheses on the ideas, bringing those into the fold to give you some of the top quotes. And maybe you can build a top quote book, sell an ebook of top quotes, or I don't know. But again, monetizing that content is kind of taking over the creative role for me. So it's taking over the happiness of time, because the time's not being refocused to not be a kid and do the fun creative stuff that'll lead me to that, pot of gold at the other end of the rainbow. It's the fact that I'm now chasing that pot of gold, and I'm not enjoying following and running after the rainbow, because if you chase stuff, you're never gonna, there's nothing ever at the end of the rainbow. It's a fucking fairy tale, so you'll be running for a long time. So it's good, I think, to just be a kid and be in the moment and own it, and then that in doing that you'll be creative, and you'll find that little gem that then can be monetized. But only in forgetting what you know is when you can start to really understand what you're capable of. So with that, I sign off book 6 of some sort of book. Go to this website, do these things. Marketing. Okay.